on the record saying, was this early July? He said like
Hmm.
Instagram's no longer a photo sharing app,
Yep.
and or what did he say? It's like no longer a Square photo sharing app and all this other nonsense, and like where do I start with this? We
Yeah.
talked about Henry and I talked about this on so when we did our 1 year of the podcast like live stream, we hopped on over for a little bit to our podcast Instagram for the live feature. I don't. This is like shortly after it was announced. This whole thing, and we talked a good while for probably like 20 to 25 minutes about this topic. And it was like a great conversation, but unfortunately, it didn't get saved thanks to Instagram. But
Yeah. They
so
talk about
here
not
we
being a
are,
photo sharing app, and then their videos don't save. So.
which they never did for me.
Uh
So
huh.
what good was that? But
Yep.
so
Um.
yeah, it's like where do you even start? So he basically said it's not a photo sharing app. It's not a Square photo sharing app. Um, I'm preaching to the choir, like I said. Most people probably know by now, but they're like a video sharing app to compete with TikTok, YouTube. He says they have so much superior, not superior, but like just lots of market share, and they want to tap into that some more. And they just said photos are out. People like to go on Instagram to be entertained and communicate and keep in touch with their friends. I agree with those things, but I don't think that's only it. And I think it's also like photos are a reason why you connect with those people. But what's your take on that?
I mean, I totally agree. I think Instagram is a photo sharing app. No matter what the CEO says, like, I know Reels is a thing, but I mean, who honestly goes on Instagram for Reels? They're there in the first place to look at photos, and Reels are kind of second. Um, Reels and IGTV. That's just kind of like, I feel like that was just the features they added to try to keep up with other social media. Um, I, I mean, I just feel like it's the wrong move. You could think that internally at your company, but to say it out loud is kind of crazy. Because I mean, besides photography community, think about like the modeling community on Instagram. I mean, they're all photos, right? I mean, pretty much. There's fashion. They're photos. I mean, Instagram is photos. It just is. I feel like.
I mean, that's literally what the app was made for. And I understand the need for like evolution over time because I mean, I think the app came out about 10 years ago now, pretty close to that, if not. And it's just like it's always been photography, not always, but it's been photography focused, and that was the original intent. But like this just being like you said, such a dramatic like a hot take, if you will, of just like we're announcing it's not this anymore, it's now this. Like, and I don't even, I've read like headlines that kind of twist the words he said, and they say like it's no longer just a photo sharing app, and that little word just in there changes the whole language. But I mean, I've gone back many times and like you listen to his words, in his video announcement, and he said Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app or Square one at that. So like that's to me just spells like I don't want to say the end, but I mean like just the lack of support for photographers and like sharing their work on there. Like they don't want anything to do with it because they're following the money. Which I mean I don't blame them because they're business first and foremost. But like it just feels like turning your back on like what got you your following and your just user base that way. It's just really baffling to me overall.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm reading from the some quotes here from The Verge, and it says that he's Masseri says that he sees it as a general entertainment app driven by algorithms and videos. Does that sound like Instagram to you? It does not sound like Instagram to me. I mean,
Uh, Kinda. Well, I don't want it to be, but it sounds like it lately.
yeah,
Algorithms. Ugh.
I
Well, the
know.
problem is like the thing is like the algorithm. So like if they're gonna prioritize, which they already are, if you ask me, like people that make video content on there, like reels and such, it's gonna get higher engagement. It's gonna get higher. Your own followers are gonna see it more likely. Like there's all these different things because like when you're on these social media apps, like the creator of the app is in control of the algorithm. They can change it on the whim. They don't even have
Mhm.
to tell you about it, and it's always changing. So like we're just kind of like, excuse my word, but like slaves to it, like simply to the system. And like, so if they're not going to prioritize like photographers over that, it's like part of me is just always, or now is like, why even bother, focusing on that platform if it's not going to support me, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's hard because we know to grow you have to do like these all these reels like daily and all these like stories and all this stuff, all this like video content, and I feel like if I did that I'd be like cheapening my account. Like I'd have to
Mhm.
like really just water down my content and just kind of become a influencer and not a photographer. Because I
Right.
mean, we're both forced to be on Instagram because it's like the only way to grow in 2021, really. Um, and it's just hard to hear an app change like that.
I wouldn't say it's the only way to change. And I wouldn't even say it's like the only way to grow in 2021, but like, I mean, this spells to me like it's not going to be. But I think the bigger problem is like you and me both have like dedicate so many hours probably to like making posts, engaging with people, liking people's stuff, and just like all this work, making the podcast, Instagram, like doing all these different things just to grow our own followings or just meet and network with people that like it's just kind of like silly. Part of me doesn't. I don't think I'm gonna quit it, but like because that just seems silly too to just quit all that work you put in and connections with different people, especially people that are only on there that I've only met on there. That is. Um, but it's just like it's just so silly to me to like turn your back on your people that made the app, and like I just don't know. I don't know where they're at with that besides following the trends and stuff. Because like you said, Henry, it's like I don't want to just make reels on there. I like making video now, of course, but like I like making much more drawn out, thoughtful videos like YouTube stuff, like the stuff I do on my channel. That's kind of like the more style of video I want to do with like B-roll and edit it and chop it all together.
Hmm.
This real stuff I made like four of them I think total now, and they definitely get you like the user engagement from people all over the platform, the app, and that's cool I guess. But like the at least in my experience, and this was a little while ago, but using that reels like function was just very clunky. The user interface is like
Hmm.
slow. It hardly even like uploaded correctly to like how I made it. And like just trying to make this video on my little like phone screen was just awful. Like maybe a tablet or like a touchscreen laptop would work better, but like I don't have either of those right now. And so I have to settle for like this 6-inch phone screen. And it was just not a good UI user interface experience. And I just am like much more into using a traditional desktop photo, or excuse me, a video editor and just drag, clipping all the stuff, video clips and everything with a keyboard and mouse. That's more my thing. So I guess the traditional way, but I just don't think this Reels thing. I don't know. I just don't think it's worth. I don't know. For me, like I feel like a sellout almost trying to use it because now it
Yeah,
just seems like if the only way to use it is or the only way to grow on the app is to use it, and like if I just start using it, I feel like I'm just hopping on a bandwagon.